Okay, and we're ready. And we're set.
Place your bets. Place your bets. All bets down. All bets down.
Right. Last time we did this, it was a psych out. You were about 5 or 6 months, 3 months less experience, and now you're about to hit 36 weeks on Saturday.
Yep.
It's come fast, right?
Yeah. You can say that again.
How much has your body changed from the last time we did this? Because we did talk about a lot, right?
Yeah.
We talked about just how much your body had changed from when we found out to that point, and now the baby is twice the size,
Oh gosh. Yeah.
right? So how has your body changed?
I don't know. You see it.
Of course I see it.
Obviously got bigger. But honestly, everything's just besides the bigger belly, everything's the same. Like
No real changes that you're noticing?
No, not really. Like, not really. I mean, just him getting bigger, and now the flutters have turned into jabs and kicks, and
Right. See, when we were back in December, it was just
flutters.
little flutters,
Yeah.
right? And they say at 3 months you start feeling 2 or 3 months. What is 3
I
months?
think it's like at 18 weeks. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and
So-
they just go like this, and they say that at first it almost feels like butterflies in your
Yeah.
stomach, right?
Mm-hmm. But now it's like kicks, and you can literally feel him shifting from one side to the other.
Moving around.
Yeah. All day. And this kid is all day. It's not like he's... Sometimes I make the mistake because, they say like, oh, you're entering your third trimester, you're supposed to do these fetal counts, right? And so when I don't feel him, I like purposely wake him up, and I'm like, oh, wrong move, because I'm sitting at work and now he just won't stop moving. So, yeah.
Is everything that you've read at least going accordingly, or are there things that are missing?
No, I think for the most part, everything I've read is like pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a lot of reading, a lot. Like,
I know you do way more than I have time to.
yeah,
Because it seems like even when we go to your doctor's appointments, it seems like you know exactly what you're asking, but it's like a confirmation that you just need confirmation
yeah,
from the doctor, from
Yeah.
Dr. Shea, on what you're feeling, what you've educated yourself on, and now it's almost like the proof of
yeah,
purchase, right?
yeah. I think it really helps, with like the technology we have now. Everything's so accessible. Like, I'm not saying rely on Wikipedia, but there are like, I read the scientific journals and stuff like that. So that really helps.
And plus the apps, right?
Oh yeah, the apps. The apps are lifesavers. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's why I freak out. Like every time we go to Dr. Shea's office, she's like, "You don't have any questions?" I'm like, "Not really. Like I don't really know what to ask. Like everything just seems to be. I know how I should be eating. I know like how much weight I should be gaining per week. I know the symptoms. Like, and it's thankfully we have a healthy baby. I mean, nothing, none of the tests that we've done with Dr. Shea have said anything otherwise.
Right, right. There was a moment, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? Before you entered into your third trimester,
Yeah.
right? We were freaking out because
I wasn't feeling him move as much as I thought I should be. But then again, it was because the belly was growing and there's less space for him. But then I feel like after that appointment, after that scare, it was
Yeah.
like, all right, Mom, I got you. Don't worry. Like,
worry no more.
yeah. And now it's like, okay, son, you can relax.
Before we continue on to like what we're experiencing now as a couple, being pregnant and me experiencing you being pregnant, because there is some sort of jealousy to wish something was growing inside of me, but also on the other half of things, you just want to be there I just want to be there as much as I can to support you. So before we continue down that road, let's talk about this last year for us, right? When and it seemed like in January the world started going haywire,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
we spent a lot of time together. And it's funny because now you can consider our baby a COVID baby,
Yeah,
right?
most definitely.
And it's not because of boredom,
Yeah.
but I think I felt like we were going through this. Oh, and I mentioned it in the journals episode, like an evolution,
Yeah.
right? And we didn't even know it,
Yeah.
right? We went on a trip,
Yeah.
we came back, the volcano.
Yeah.
We had to decide whether we're gonna go to the
Go to-
Philippines.
Yep.
2 days after the volcano erupted,
Yep.
we decided to go, and then COVID hit, right? And
Mhm.
we didn't really know what to think.
Yeah. I mean, we were just taking it day by day. We didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was.
Right.
To be quite honest, because we were still we still did our neighbors are our best friends, and so we didn't see them for 14 days. So
Right.
we took that precaution.
Well, even before that, even when COVID was starting to become a conversation in February and
Yeah.
March,
we were just like,
we were still going to the bars,
yep.
right? The last Thursday that we
Yep.
did, I did Inspire Guam
Mhm.
with Vic on Wednesday.
Mhm.
And then Thursday we went to the venue, and that's
Yep.
when we had a great time hugging each other.
Yep.
I picked up Velena from the airport. He's covered from head to
Hazmat
toe
suit.
in his hazmat suit.
Whose bright idea was to go pick him up and bring him to the venue?
And Japan had just experienced the peak.
But
And we brought him to the bar.
But if there's one guy that I know would be very, very safe,
Yeah.
it would be him.
Yeah, he didn't catch corona from Japan because he was aware. And I told him before he left, I was like, hey, that coronavirus thing is going around, right?
Mhm.
And so he made sure to let me know that he was protecting himself throughout the whole time, wearing masks. He even wore gloves, long sleeve, and I
Yeah.
think he may have even taped his wrists.
Well, that would be him. If you guys know Valena.
Wearing clear glasses and the
N95.
N95 mask, not the one that just goes around your ear, the one that straps around your head,
Yeah.
and the rubber band is making your hair stand up.
Yeah.
That's the kind he was wearing. And
But you guys still brought him back
we
to
still
the
brought him to
venue.
the venue. And you know what? We rolled with the windows up from the airport to the venue, knowing that there was coronavirus. And anyways, that was we didn't
That was
we
the last
didn't
hurrah.
take it. Yeah, we didn't take it very seriously.
No,
at all.
we didn't.
Zero seriousness. Right? Like you said, we didn't. It was after like a week, right? After not seeing our friends for 2 weeks, we're like, okay, I think everything is really, this is happening, right?
Yeah. We were like, well, we quarantined together. We're going to see each other anyways. We'll just quarantine together.
Yeah. So after the 2 weeks, we decided that okay, let's get together. Let's party.
Yeah.
Let's drink over at each other's apartments, and
Well, we were doing our part too by getting tested.
we did. We
Got
did.
tested a couple times.
Yeah. The first 2 months
For
were
our cluster.
questionable because there was no testing available.
Yeah.
Right. It was like starting in May.
Uh-huh.
And going back to like the evolution, right? We were having, I'd like to say we had a great pandemic.
Quarantine. Yeah. Honestly, though.
Right. I feel fortunate to
mean,
have had
yeah.
this good of a pandemic.
Yeah.
We
we
hung
were-
out with our friends.
We were working from home. We were able.
Mm-hmm.
Our work was we were very fortunate that we were able to work from home. And then right when it hit like 5:30, 6 o'clock, it was like,
Hang out with your friends.
yeah.
And we did that week after weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend. And then August 6th,
Yep.
right? It was about August
Mhm.
6th. It was a Wednesday. I remember because we used to play rugby every Wednesday night. And hold on, I'm pulling up the calendar right now. August 5th.
5th?
August 5th. And I had come up the stairs, and I see Rosie at the door, and she's like, "Hey," and she doesn't greet me like that ever, ever. Rosie never greets me like that, but this time was different, so it felt different.
Uh-huh.
And then I came in, and you go to the bathroom, and I go in, and there it was. The pregnancy test was on the table.
It clearly said pregnant.
Yeah, it was pregnant for sure. And I came out, and being a dude and a bozo
Oh,
at the same
gosh.
time.
What did you say?
I said cool. It's like she goes, "How do you feel?" I'm like, cool.
Everything works.
Yeah, everything works. Let me say that's a man's worst fear, right?
Yeah.
The
Imagine.
right, and the very nature of humans is to reproduce,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to be able not to reproduce and find out that you're unable to reproduce has got to be the most heart-wrenching thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you cannot have offspring.
Yeah.
Your bloodline or your
Mhm.
your genetics doesn't pass on.
Mm-hmm.
It ends with you.
Yeah.
And so when that moment happened, I was elated with joy inside. But when you hear something like that, you don't really know how to react.
Yeah.
And I'm
And it was out
never
of
good
nowhere.
at, I'm never good at reacting at surprise situations, ever. So before I came up and we were down there playing and stuff, what were you doing prior?
I had just come home from work, and it was just, I was walking up the stairs, and honestly, I just thought, I was like, my period's late. Let me just take a test. And not thinking anything of it, So I came up and took the test, and I think I
Is
left.
this do you want to disclose this? Do you usually like take tests?
No, I think, well, obviously, in every relationship, there's not every, but in majority of relationships, there's scares, right? If you're not.
Right.
So
So it was just the extra one?
Yeah, it was just the extra one that I didn't think I would ever use.
Mom and dad?
Sorry. No, but it was just an extra one, and it was like, why not? Not thinking anything of it, and then took it, and I think I left it on the counter or in the bathroom for like 20 to 30 minutes. Did my things, cleaning the house, and then walked in. I was like, oh my God. Called Rose right away, called my other friend Bree, and was just like, I was shaking. Didn't know.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't. I just kept repeating over and over again, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, it's a big thing. It's, you got to think about yourself or your situation financially, mentally, physically, your environment, like, it just all came out once. But yeah, I think after a while it was just like, okay, well, this is it. Like, there's nothing else we could do. Like, like, this is it, And
What were you feeling when you told me?
nervous. I mean, I've
Were you-
never doubted that if this were to happen, like, you would be upset or anything, but I was just waiting to see your reaction. There was never a doubt in my mind that if I were to be pregnant, like, oh no, is he going to leave me kind of thing, or what is he going to do? But I just wanted to see I was nervous to see your reaction. And awkward.
If we had an audience, it would definitely be awkward. It's not the elation you would expect. I was happy, like I said, in the inside. I just
He didn't know how to express it.
right. I've always been a person who's bad at expressing themselves in certain ways, and
Yeah.
especially in surprise situations and stuff like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We're
It's both our first kid, so
Yeah.
it's not like news that we've heard before.
surprise. But yeah, it was I would think I was just more nervous to see how you were gonna react. But it was fine. I mean, afterwards we
We'll share this story. We won't say the friend,
Yeah.
that's involved in the story. So the evening we find out, right, where we're so happy, we're sitting on the couch, we're
go to
hugging,
dinner.
yeah, kissing each other and just saying how much I'll support and we're gonna do this together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we go to dinner, and we go to Yokozuna, and we sit at we're just about to sit down, and I get this text message, and it's a text message from my friend, who text message a chat group, and also personal message, saying that, hey, if you were there, I just wanted to let you know that I got tested on Monday, and I tested positive today. So, as you can imagine,
God.
so we sit down, and Kai goes, "What's wrong?" And I go,
Blah, blah, blah.
so and so just texted, and they said I tested positive for coronavirus, and both our hearts, I think, just in that moment sank.
Yeah.
We had just ordered, right? I didn't tell you right away.
No.
Because it had the text. We sat down, we got our drinks, we ordered food, and then I looked at my text again, and I saw it again. You can tell something was wrong, right? And prior to that, we were with a group of people doing, a get together, right, of people that we trusted to be around, and we still, we don't lose trust in this person, right? Just because of it.
Yeah.
But in that moment, it was like, holy shit.
It's real.
It's like coronavirus is real.
That was our realization that the world was right.
And the mix of emotions. Yes, we were happy. We were completely happy and wanted all this to happen. But now we're dealing like, whoa, we have to raise a kid in a world where there's a disease that's killing people.
Yep.
And someone that we know got it, and we were with them, And so, yeah, that's
Yeah. We didn't even
we didn't eat.
We packed our stuff.
Yeah,
Lost our appetite. Can we get the check, please? Just wrap everything.
Yeah, just wrap it all. I feel like if we spend 5 more minutes in here, we're contaminating people. We just found out we may be positive and we don't even know.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and the short story to that long story is that everybody on that event, at that gathering, all tested negative.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and to this day, we believe that he tested false positive.
Yeah.
So,
but it was definitely scary.
It was about 24 to 48 hours.
Oh no! It was like for a whole week. Remember, because
because we got tested with Valena and Jerry, right?
No, yeah, that too, and also because we haven't told our parents the good news.
Oh, that's right.
So we had to tell them the bad news first.
Right, that's right.
And both of our parents were super pissed at us because they were, this whole time, they were like, you guys need to be careful, like, make sure you guys are,
doing what you need to do.
Yeah. And then we both had to be like, oh, well.
We tested positive.
No.
Or no. We know someone. We were in close contact with someone who tested positive.
Yeah. And so my parents didn't talk to me for like a good 3 days. And I was like, oh boy, wait till they find out the good news.
and rightfully so, because we jeopardize the companies,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
and being able to survive during a pandemic.
Yeah.
And what if in the span of 3 days between the time we got together and the 3 days after we found out, or the 3 days when we
Yeah.
found out, between those two times,
We could have.
we could have
Yeah.
exposed somebody
Yeah.
or the whole office,
Yeah.
right? So it's understandable why it's that way,
Yeah.
right? And so
That was another big realization for us. Like, oh, okay,
yeah,
we get
we
it.
just can't do anything we
Yeah.
want, because like I said, like our pandemic was, right, we're still working, we're still
Yeah.
fortunate enough to be working and working from home. And we would have I have silent disco headphones phones from episode 200, and we would just break it out and we silent discoed like
Yep.
6 times, and every time it just got better and better and better. And
Yeah, it was just
so August was a very
yeah.
turning point
Yep.
for us, right?
Mhm.
Even in our relationship, we find out we're pregnant. Same day we find out we may have come in contact with someone who had coronavirus, and I say had. I still think he
False positive.
may have had a big may, because
'Cause he
why
did
does
the
everyone else
He did the antigen test,
everything?
didn't he? And
Yeah,
it was came
negative.
out negative.
Right. So yeah,
So that was August.
that was August. That was August. The week went by. We finally told your parents. We told my parents, I think.
Told your parents first.
And then we
my
told your parents. And definitely a different range of reactions. Would you agree? Right.
Yes.
And I was very nervous about telling your dad, but I felt like if I didn't do it when I found out, he found out, I was like, oh, okay, now I have to have the conversation, right? So
I was just upset that we couldn't tell my parents the way we wanted to. It was like, how do I say this?
well, you were coming out of a bout of possibly having coronavirus, right?
Yeah, and then I was when after we tested negative, we scheduled for like I guess you have to schedule for like a real pregnancy test at the clinic to get your prenatals or something, to get
Prescribed.
prenatals, and the freaking
The
clinic called. I don't know why my parents' house was the main contact. They called to confirm. And my mom was like, what appointment do you have? I'm like, oh, a checkup. Your annual? Kind of. And my mom is not the one to leave things alone. She like pries. She's like, what is it? I'm like,
What's wrong? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
This is not this time of year. You're supposed to be doing this.
I was like, miss my period. She's like, oh, it's just stress. And then I had to tell her like, I'm actually 7 weeks. And it was like, don't tell dad, like, let me do it. And my mom couldn't keep her mouth shut. So we didn't, my parents didn't get the whole like, surprise, we're pregnant. It was more like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. So I had to make it a point when I found that out that within 24 hours I need to go talk to her parents.
Yeah.
Like there was no way I was going to let another day go by, me falling asleep, going into dreamland, waking up like, okay, I'll do it today. Like, no, it had to happen right then and there, when the very next possible time you can possibly do it.
It was just, it was a little nerve wracking telling my dad, because, he's very traditional Chinese, like very strict, and I was like, oh my God, what is he going to say? And then I had to think like, wait a minute, I'm 30 years old. Like, hold up here. I am not 16. I had to put myself in check and be like,
Yeah. and the big thing that comes up is that we're not married, right?
Yeah.
And also traditionally, like every old person, right, has asked, like, are you guys married? How come they're not married? And this and that. And what your dad had to say to us was a very progressive, like, thought mentality, right? And completely opposite of what you were expecting. Right? For me, I was not expecting anything, because if I try to expect something, I just freak myself out.
Yeah.
Right. And so now I work. I left my old job with the government, and now I work for Kai's dad. Right. So think about the chain of events that's happening here. Right. In July, I start this job with him. Right? In June, I accepted the offer. I took a month to close out everything that I was doing. And July 13th, I found out. Right. And I found out I started the job.
Mm-hmm.
August 5th, we found out. A month into starting this new job, I'm putting myself in hell and high water.
Sir?
Sir. The sirs really came out. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing, sir? Are you doing good, sir?
Yeah.
So,
wow, thinking about that, it was...
Yeah. But we took it like champs, I feel like, right? We took the necessary steps that we needed to do it. My parents were on another side of the token. Like, my mom's been, like, waiting for this day since somebody was able to reproduce.
Yeah.
And for it to come...
Mm-hmm.
I think she was like the last of her sisters to be a grandmother.
I felt like they gave up on us for a little bit. They stopped asking. They're like, forget it.
Yeah. If they're going to be together and not have kids, we're going to have to accept it. Yeah. So, it's quite the experience to go through those, to having, now you're telling people and telling the people most important to you, right, that it's happening. And even when you told your brother, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, my brother.
Nothing was really ideal for us to do anything, to have any, you think having a kid has this dream pathway that you take, and everything's going good. Ours started with coronavirus, right? A potential. And when we found out, we're like, what if the baby has coronavirus?
That's what we were really scared about.
Yeah, that's what that was like. We are never going anywhere. You're drinking alkaline water and getting nutrients every day. But then again, she can't take pills or supplements or anything like that. So now it's really having to protect her and put her in this quasi bubble, like a bubble, right? An invisible bubble.
Yeah. We didn't do anything. I think for the first couple months that we found out we were pregnant, we didn't.
Till about October.
Yeah, we didn't really do. I didn't see anybody. I didn't do any. We didn't go out. We couldn't go out to eat. So.
Right.
But yeah.
I mean, you saw Rose, right? Because they're our neighbors, and I saw Daryl, but even at that, we barely saw them.
Not as much as we did.
Right.
Before.
every single day, right? So.
So yeah. Anyways.
But the first couple months was very interesting. It was me being brand new to having to understand what is going on, what is happening to her body, and the changes, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, right? And it's almost as if the day she found out, her back just start hurting. You know, my God. She needed to get massage.
Say this.
30 minutes after I'm massaging for an hour, her back and her feet hurt. And up to this very day, I'm still massaging her feet. I've almost become like automatic. I don't even think about when I'm massaging.
You don't.
Oh.
Yep. And that's one of the perks of being pregnant. Even when we go see your doctor, you ask him, what do I need to do to help support her? To massage her feet.
Yeah. Massage your feet. No sex. Just massage your feet. Yep. So it was it was interesting. I downloaded all the apps, all the women apps, all the men, the men apps, and just to learn about what it takes to be a father, right? And be a supporting partner to your
And
pregnant partner.
I also think that talking to our friends who do have kids
Right.
already, that helped a lot. That was like a support system.
Yeah.
Dude,
Especially
am I-
Chris's advice. Wink wink, Chris. Love you, bro.
it's like, why am I feeling like this? It's normal. Don't worry.
Yeah. So that helped a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think, or
Because most of our friends do have kids,
mhm.
right? Ranging all ages.
All ages, yeah. So it was definitely nice to be like, is this normal? Or, every time I get scared about labor, I just talk to one of them and they're just like, don't worry, you'll be fine. But I mean, it just helps. It helps to have someone to talk to. And then I think a month later, I found out one of my best friends, Bree, was also pregnant, or she is pregnant. So that was like,
A month after we found out.
yeah.
Right?
So that was like, wow, I have someone who I can actually like relate to, like
Go through it together.
go through it together. And that's been very nice. So
Yeah, I'm sure that helps. And, all my friends' advice is sort of, they range, but it's really just all about being there
yeah.
and just being there as much as I can
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, as a man, you weren't required,
Yeah. You're on your own.
maybe
baby.
even 90s,
Mhm.
and you weren't required to be there,
Mhm.
be in the hospital room, be present when your child's there or
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
Mhm.
And
Definitely.
now in this new age, new generation, like if you're not there, it's like frowned upon by
Yeah.
society.
Yep.
Right. And people almost question like, oh, I'm sure people have always questioned where's the dad, but now it's like, how come he's not here? Right. He should be here.
Yeah.
He should. And so becoming unselfish in the way I think and only thinking about myself, and well, of course, I think I always thought about Kai
Mhm.
throughout a relationship, but now she's like overbounded, overstep where I cared about myself, right? It's been that change of level, and now even more so with the baby.
It's like, forget about us. Make sure he's okay.
Yeah. Right.
It's
And
like, it's to the point where it's like everything I'm doing is like, okay, how is this? Is he gonna be okay? Like, even to the point like eating. Oh, I shouldn't eat that because this and this, or
what did you see was changing your body the most, or not changing your body the most, but in nutrition wise that you had to change?
as far as nutrition, so I've always, even prior to being pregnant, I've always been, I've always been active, and I've always tried to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. So I think, during my pregnancy, nothing really. Just stick to what I've been normally do.
Right.
Thankfully,
That's
I
why
have
they're like,
not.
Kai, you're all baby.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of discipline because thankfully, the cravings haven't been like, out of this world. Like, I don't get cravings, like when people ask me, like, what are you craving for? Like, nothing really. It's so weird. I just,
Nothing that I can think of either.
I'll have a craving and then like 20 minutes I'm like, forget it, I don't want it. So
Yeah.
I think that helped too. That helped. I'm sure if I was like craving chips and ice cream every day, that'd be a different story. But and then also just sorry.
You want water?
I'm okay. Also just having, so Rose is a registered dietitian, so I would just
Free consultation?
all day, every day.
You're that Rosé.
how many calories can I be eating? I'm eating this, you know, what can I substitute for this and this and this? So she really kind of helped with my nutrition. Um, you know, even like with this cold pressed juice, I thought I was, you know, I bought 7 bottles and I asked her, like, oh, I just bought 7 bottles. Is that okay? She's like, not really. She's like, just drink half and give the other half to Boo or something. I'm like, damn, I thought it was good for me. So, you know, just little things like that, or substitute, like, man, Rose, I'm really craving this and this. She'll be like, just eat this. It's the same thing.
Right.
So, and also I've told myself in this pregnancy, I mean, I wasn't going to like gain a lot of weight. I was going to stay within the normal range, which is like 25 to 35. So, you know, I
And
got
now,
2 weddings after this baby's done. Like,
also everything, all the weight that you are gaining now is
Baby.
mostly all the baby growing, right? Now the baby is about, you're
5
almost 36
pounds?
weeks.
Yeah.
And so the baby will gain a pound a week pretty much, right? Until he's born.
Which is
So-
crazy, because we know we're seeing the doctor every week now, and every time I step on the scale, I'm like, like I literally log in my weight, like, oh my god, like, I have a pre-pregnancy weight, and
How much have you changed?
so far I've gained about 23 pounds.
And according to like what you've read or heard, is that pretty normal?
Yeah, I'm supposed to gain about 25 to 30. That's the range, like the normal range.
Right.
So I'm within that range. I'm okay.
Right.
But you know, like even before I was pregnant, I was always so self-conscious about my weight, you know, the way I looked, my nutrition, all of that. So now that I'm just like, there's a big old belly, I'm
Right.
like, oh my god, I can't even see my toes. I'm like, what is this? Like a couple of weeks ago, we went to our appointment. I was telling the nurse, like, why does my legs hurt so bad? Like I just ran a marathon. And she's like, is this the heaviest you've been? I'm like, yes. She's like, that's the reason why.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
You're carrying a 5-pound duffel bag.
For real. I'm like, that's why my legs are hurting. Because I'm gaining weight. Tell me something else. But honestly,
I gotta tell you, I've been very impressed with the way you've handled this whole pregnancy, right? And I tell our parents, I'm like, I feel like Kai has had a good pregnancy. Nothing that I've seen wrong. Maybe in the first, like, after after 8 or 9 weeks, you started having like late night sickness or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But after that
After
bout,
like the first trimester, it was just smooth sailing.
yeah, you would exercise, you know, you keep yourself active and healthy and eating healthy. So I gotta applaud you and give you the
Thanks.
kudos of,
It was
you know,
all.
you didn't balloon up and
See, look at me. I'm like, no, I don't want it. It was a lot of mental. I feel like it wasn't too much of the physical. It was a lot of mental. It was a lot of, you know, telling myself like, I'm not eating for 2. You know, all that, the old wives' tale of like, you gotta eat for 2.
eat extra, girl.
Yeah, no.
That's it. Only one scoop.
I think even in the beginning, I was still because prior to getting pregnant,
Right.
I was on a nutrition path.
Hey, Matt, you hear that buzz? Yeah. Can you check one of the cables there? Yeah, the either the mics or something got loose there. Is it something I kicked? No, I don't know. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's just the headphones.
But anyways, you can cut that part out, that long pause. So yeah, prior to getting pregnant, I was on this nutrition path with Rose. We were on like, she was doing my meal plans and everything. So I was actually weighing out my food. And I think when I first got pregnant, I was still weighing out my food. She gave me a pregnancy diet plan, nutrition plan. Still weighing out my food, still getting my enough protein, fiber, vegetable, all of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, it's there again.
Yeah, it might be like a phone or something. Let me move my phone. Yeah, that's go. That's okay.
So
It
yeah.
might just be our headphones.
Oh. So yeah, it was definitely just a mental thing. For all these for all you ladies who are thinking about getting pregnant, it's really not that hard. Just
To not that hard in pregnancy, but not that hard to stay healthy.
stay healthy. Yeah, it really isn't. I mean, I like in the beginning of my pregnancy, every time I wanted something sweet, it was always fruits. Like it's a lot of mental, but you can do it. And you'll love yourself so much better because I feel like after you give birth, it's easier for you to maintain that lifestyle, that this healthy lifestyle of.
Mm-hmm.
So
Emotionally, how have you been able to manage things? And have I been a help to you?
Oh, you've definitely been a help. You're
Okay.
always making sure I'm good. Emotionally.
Oh, that's it. Huh? That's it. That's all you have to say about my
Emotionally?
support. Yeah.
You're not the one carrying the kid. But emotionally, it was. I don't know how to explain. I guess in the beginning, it was like it didn't feel real, because you don't really have the belly bump, you don't feel the kicks, you're just like going about your day, you're just getting bigger. But man, as soon as you feel the kicks and the flutter, it changes you. Like I find myself like just talking to my belly by myself, like, "Hi, my son," like, and it's so crazy, like thinking. And Daryl actually put into realization when we were over at his house one time. He was like, "You realize you created a human being from nothing, like heartbeat, like from the heartbeat to the bones to everything, like you did that." I'm like, whoa, I did. Like,
Yeah, for me, when we went to Dr. Shay's and we first heard the heartbeat, that's when it was like absolutely real for me. I was like, holy cow! Right?
Yeah.
Everything that you think of what a heartbeat means, right? That's the only thing it means is life.
Yep.
Right, and the fact that there was life and we couldn't even see it.
It was just,
right. It was like a dime or something like that, right? When the baby first has its heartbeat.
Yep.
How freaking crazy is that?
And now
that's mind blowing.
And now at like almost 9 months, you can feel like when he moves, you can feel elbows, you can feel feet, you can feel, his head, or it's just like from that little old thing to
little flutters, to little jabs,
to
full on freaking trying to make space for myself.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like the human body is, whoa. And and I always thought like, oh my gosh, I'm so small. Like, what if I can't, carry a baby? Because they say girls who are small have a hard time or whatever. But I'm just like, no, F that.
Aren't there like 3-foot people that have
I think
babies?
Midgets
like
have babies too.
Yeah, I don't think midgets is the PC term. Matt, can you find out what the PC term is?
Everyone's so sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing you were worried about, is that because because of your stature that you would.
Yeah, or just also.
It might be small person, right? Little person. Yeah.
What defines a little person? Is it under 5 feet? Because if that's so, then I'm a little person.
Yeah. But then they're littler person.
Oh, littler.
I don't know if that's the PC term. But anyways, yeah.
So and then there was also, so in the beginning it was very very cautious, because they were saying don't do this, don't do that, because you could have a miscarriage. And that
Within the
scares
first, what, 20
trimester, I think.
trimester, the
Yeah.
whole trimester, 12 weeks?
Yeah, they say. So that's why we weren't doing much, even though I was working out, I wasn't lifting any weights. I was, because they were saying that's the most, that was the time when you could have a miscarriage.
Right.
And, it was very important that I just relax.
Yeah, and that's why my mom was like, don't let her push anything, pull anything, carry nothing. She shouldn't even be opening the cabinets.
And I took it to heart.
Yeah, 100%. Like, dude, you don't even have a baby bump yet.
Like, well, your mom said. But so that was also very that was on my mind a lot, like, I need to be careful because I don't want to lose the baby. And then now that I'm entering into my I'm in my third trimester, but now it's like, okay, you still need to be careful because even though baby's full term, there's I just read an article, or I just read something where, the baby, the lady carried full term, and then the umbilical cord was wrapped around the baby. So, there's this thing called stillborn, and I'm like, oh my God, like
the risk doesn't end. Just because you make it through the first trimester doesn't mean that the risk of your baby not surviving is gone or zero. Right?
and it's so crazy, and I always, so when we first went to the doctor and they were saying you need to do the fetal count, I'm like, why do I need to do it? Like, I know he's moving. And then it wasn't until I was reading up on it, I was like, oh, because if you don't feel him, if you don't feel him within the 2 hours or whatever, that could, there could be signs that he's distressed or the umbilical cord's wrapped around, and go to the hospital right away. So I was like, okay, now I understand why they say you need to do the fetal count. But, I mean, damn. Even to right when you're ready to give birth, it was like, well, is he okay? Like,
sure.
And that's scary because, I've carried him for 8 months already, and it's just like, really, like it's on the last stretch. So that's always a worry.
Right. Right. And in our heads, the reason why we chose Dr. Shea is because he's birthed thousands of babies.
Yeah.
Right. And it's in the hospital. Right. Anything that is potentially to go wrong,
I'm already there.
She's already there. Right. And even when we had our first appointment with Dr. Shea, you can tell just by him talking to Kai, he was already making the assessments. What's normal, what's abnormal, what she needs to do more of, right?
Yep.
And it almost seems from the onset like a stoic response to it. But it's years of experience that we're not experienced on, right? You've seen thousands of ladies go through the same things over and over and over again, all the way to full term. And so that's why we decided to put our trust in having Dr. Shea bring our child into the world, right?
Yeah, I mean,
and that doesn't discredit any other doctor, facility, clinic, or anything like that.
It's really just preference.
Personal
we just
preference.
Felt we both, it was a decision we both made.
Yeah, and we were split between a few doctors, right? So when we really boiled it down, Dr. Shea was a person we wanted to go to. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
And
disclaimer. We're not discrediting any doctors or even any pregnant woman who decided not to go with Dr. Shea or decided to go anywhere else on Guam.
It's just our personal preference.
For
and,
sure.
As a family, we just decided it was best for us. And perfectly happy with my decision. I mean, we're almost there.
We are almost there. It's gone by fast. And I think the pandemic and COVID and us not, the shutdowns and us not seeing other people made it easier and made this
for our FOMO.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, if the bars were still open and I was pregnant, I'd be so pissed because I would not stop Boo from going, but when he comes home, I'm like, ugh,
But I didn't.
You know,
There were
yeah.
places that served alcohol that I
Yeah.
could have went to, and right, and it's
Yeah.
mostly I would go to like friends' house,
Yeah.
but other than that, like,
But if you knew us before we were pregnant, we both like to
yeah,
be out.
we like to socialize.
So I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to get pregnant.
It's no secret we like to socialize extensively throughout the week.
So it just worked out. And then, you know, and I don't know, this year, like just thinking about it's so crazy. Like new job,
Yeah,
baby.
baby.
And then we decided we couldn't live in the apartment anymore.
Right,
So.
right. So we live on the top floor of the apartment, and we cannot do this with a kid. And prior to us finding out we were pregnant, or Kai was pregnant, not we were pregnant, but Kai was pregnant.
We were looking.
I wanted. We were looking for houses, but
Yeah.
I wanted to take things slow, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Very
like,
slow.
yeah, let's not rush into making other moves. Let me enjoy my job and get the hang of it.
Yep.
Month in,
Mm-hmm.
we decided that we were gonna move into another place and, really take care of this baby.
Yep.
And not that we didn't plan to, but by November, when the house started ramping up, minor renovations
Oh.
turned into major construction. You say, "Oh," but you're the cause of all this.
We were okay, my fault. We were just supposed to do minor renovations
Minor
just
renovation.
to move in, but I was like, never mind, just gut everything out and start all over.
Ew, I don't want this here. I don't want to do this. Everything just feels kind of old. It's like, okay, what do you want to do?
Yeah, big mistake.
Yeah, we're at Home Depot with the kitchen design section doing designs.
Yeah,
So
big mistake, but worth it.
yeah, worth
No,
it. We're about 4 or 5 months into renovations, and it's going by real good.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's ending, but as things start to calm down, I'm prepping for the birth of our child.
Yeah.
Right, and so life has been crazy, right? Because even in this time in December, Kona got sick. Right, he started having seizures. We were wondering why he was pooping and peeing in the house, and which is not like him. And he would be breathing hard until we woke up one morning, and I was getting ready to take him out, and he started seizing. And then he had another seizure after I went to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a third one within 3 hours. He had 3 seizures.
Yep.
So they put him on Valiums. They put him on phenobarbital and their anti-seizure medications. Very, very heavy.
Yeah, he was loopy. He was loopy.
High as a kite. Pissing.
He couldn't even walk.
Couldn't walk. Pissing in the house. And so, over time, his health, he lived. So the vet said, if he has, and I'm not too sure. Matt, have we talked about this on the previous episodes
I don't
with
think so.
Ray and Jordan?
Very little, very short.
Very little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said if he has another seizure in the next 36 hours, he's probably gonna have a week to live. Well,
He's held on.
yeah, so Kona throughout his life, he's just been a complete survivor.
Mm-hmm. Look, he's trying to stand up right now.
Yeah, he's survived everything, and so it's been about 2 months, 2 months, almost 2.5 months since it happened, and his health has greatly deteriorated, right? And there's a couple times that already I've thought about putting him down, but it's something in me that I feel like I cannot make that decision. That's what we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
But
it almost seems like this is my life's transition,
Yeah.
right? I've had Kona for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got him with actually Matt's brother and my cousin Bim.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up taking care of them, and brought him to Guam, and he's about to be 15 and going through this life change for him, right? And whether, like whether his health is going to get better, it's not something that I'm being optimistic about, but it's almost as if there's this,
Oh, we always talk about this.
right, the transition of the last 14 years of my life to this new chapter in my life. And
I mean, we really felt, so when Kona first got sick, we really felt like he was prepping us for the baby, because he, no lie, he would wake us up. He would cry every 2 hours at night for us to move him pick him up.
Because he'd come off. We had these mats laid out for him to walk on.
So every 2 hours, we were both taking turns of like moving him or giving him water. Like even to the point where Boo would have to soothe him to sleep.
Right.
Like it was like a kid.
Right. He was like a legit kid.
And we were like, holy crap. Like,
what is he doing?
What? Yeah. Because every 2 hours.
Yeah. And it happened for like a couple weeks. And then it calmed down, and me having to take him. Now I push him in a doggy wheelchair that I bought from Ben Schiff. And it's almost like I'm pushing a stroller. You know?
I mean, we clean up poo and pee piss. Like it's nothing now.
Well, I do. You help me. Yes. Thank you for the assistance. I appreciate that.
But it's
so yeah, he's towards the end of his life. Yeah. And while he's towards the end of his life, we're bringing in new life into the world. And we talk about this crazy theory that we have that what if he's like transforming into our baby? Right, Matt? Isn't that crazy? Like what if like
just
when what if when Kai goes into labor, he decides he wants to pass? And that reminds me, I think I need to give you, Matt, my house key when she goes into labor, so that you can come and take care of, I mean, if you don't mind. Yeah. Like, because we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know how long she's going to be in there. If you don't mind. I don't know why I just nominated you for that. But
first, you let him set up by himself. Second,
I was late. And now I just nominated him to take care of Kona.
Well, if all goes well, Matt, hopefully we're just in the hospital for 24 hours. In and out, hopefully.
But yeah, there might be this metamorphosis of Kona, and all of a sudden our son is like, Dad, how come I'm having these like memories and
do we know someone named Kona?
Who's Kona? Yeah. Boy, don't talk to your mom about anything that you are remembering you were seeing. That seems like history. Yeah, so
but you know what? He's holding on. Like,
yeah, and
as there was a couple times we thought he was going to go, but
oh yeah, I've had my cries already, and just telling him go ahead. But one thing that I've read about dogs is that they're so resilient, and they're not gonna die when you think they are. They'll hold on for as long as they can. And so in my head, I'm like, what is he holding on to?
I always ask Boo, like, is he making you pay for something you didn't like in the past?
Yeah, it might be sins against me. Yeah, he's just punishing me.
But
or it can be this wild theory that he's just waiting for his time to be done, right? And which maybe that theory is making me have a hard time of putting him down, right? And euthanizing him and actually like taking care of him, because I do take care of him like crazy. And even when he does have accidents, like
to the point where, guys, we're giving Kona Ensure.
Yeah, give him Ensure now, mixed with dog food so we can get protein, right? And because now he's weak. What do you do? Like as humans, are we gonna put down our humans because they're like in the last leg of life?
Yep. And our
Right?
parents always say this. They always
Yeah, your parents always say it.
like, would you do that to us?
Yeah. Wow, you're gonna put down your dog. Don't do that to me, okay? Saying, well, sir, I'm thinking about it. I just don't know, like, if he's like. Everyone says, is he suffering? And I can't tell, right? There's times when I do feel like there is some sort of suffering, but what old person isn't?
Yeah.
And there's times where I think he just enjoys being taken care of, but
yeah.
maybe that's just a selfishness in me. But before we start talking about Kona, talk about the main reason why I brought up Kona is because of that potential of maybe him saying,
I'll wait till the baby comes.
yeah,
or
when the baby comes, my job is
it's
done.
We've talked about this lots of times.
Yeah.
You know, when it's the closer we are to, you know, my due date, it's like, whoa, is he waiting?
Yeah,
like
because he's deteriorating,
yeah.
right?
I mean, if you guys have seen him from 4 months ago to now, completely different dog.
And now, even a month ago to now is just the level of
yeah.
I'm pushing him in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Right. And most people would be like, put your dog down, but
Boo.
the love
He
in me
can't. Yeah.
for him.
And I know every time you mention it, I'm just like, you're
just
not going to. You're
you're
like,
just going through
yeah,
something.
I'm like, you're just mad because you have to clean up pee.
No, I never want to put him down because he burdens me. It's, there's some days where I do feel like he has bad days, and I think on his bad days.
But what old, person doesn't have bad days?
For sure. For sure.
And the fact that he can't really talk to us, it makes it harder.
So he's been the true test for us raising this baby, waking up in the middle of the night, going to work tired, taking care of him early in the morning, right? And even when he has accidents. And so he's been a great preparation for us to have this baby. And I'm excited. I'm super pumped. And just a couple weeks ago, I felt the baby like nudge me. Matt, I haven't told you this, but he not like just a tap, but it's almost like I rubbed my elbow against your stomach.
Really?
For real. Yeah, dude, and I was freaking out. And Kai says it's when he's shifting, right? His body
moving, yeah. But he always does this at like 2, 3 in the morning. It's always the same time. He's like trying to get comfortable, but yeah, he's a trip. It's so crazy because we're at the point of my pregnancy where you can talk to him and he responds.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's so weird.
I love talking to him.
Yeah, it's so weird when he responds because it's just like
his ears work.
Yeah. Like he's there, like he's really there.
Yeah. And no matter where he's at, he doesn't hit on the other side. He hits exactly where my hand is.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yep.
Wild. So now that you have a full-grown baby inside of you, like a full-grown human.
Yep.
Baby human inside of you, what are your thoughts now compared to when we first found out? Is it more preparation for what's to come?
Yeah, I'm scared shitless of labor. Like, who is it? And I really, so the beginning of my pregnancy, I was like, no, forget that. I'm gonna do the epidural. Like, I have no pain tolerance. Blah 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 blah. But the more I read about it, the more I do my research, I'm like, ugh. Okay, we really just try to go natural. And as much as it scares the living crap out of me, I feel like it's just what I have to do. Like I don't want.
Wow, I think that's a crazy what if that's like the biology of you?
Well,
just clicking
yeah,
naturally.
And Well, a lot of it's research. A lot of it, like I've read a lot. I've
Aw.
talked to a lot of ladies who've gotten the epidural. And, some say they had an amazing labor, and I'm like, okay, I want that. And then you hear from other ladies who've gotten it and they had an amazing labor, but then like 6 months later, their back is hurting from where the shot is, and I'm like, okay, do I really want that? Or, I hear stories where ladies just so like relaxed so they can't push, and I'm just like, oh, I'm trying to get out of there like quickly.
Yeah.
So it took a lot for me to just tell myself like, okay, let's go natural, let's not use any drugs.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main reasons why I really started walking a lot. I walk every day for at least 30 minutes just so I can get my stamina up, just so I can prepare myself. But the more I think about it, it's like, dude,
I'm feeling nervous right
I'm
now.
scared.
I'm feeling nervous right
Like,
now.
yeah, like even before I got pregnant, when I got a leg cramp, like I was crying, like, babe, help me, stretch me out.
I think it was even like maybe like 3 months ago, right? You got a leg cramp in the middle of
night.
of the night. You're like, you have to stretch me out. I was like, you're gonna go through labor. you need to get through this leg cramp quick.
I'm even telling my.
You sound like you're in pain right now.
I mean, we all know it. I carry around 600 milligrams of ibuprofen for my headache. Like, come on.
Oh my god. Oh.
So me trying to tell myself not to get the epidural is like, and but then I always think about how other women have done it and they survived, and it's.
Yeah, the survival rate's pretty high these days, right?
And it's I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to be in the birth plan.
Yeah.
I think you and I talked about having a code word, like.
Well, I mean, okay, so before we talk about the code word, we got to talk about the Lamaze class, right? So that's when it became really real for me that you're about to go through some intense shit.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, we went to, and besides what my friends are telling me, like, you just have to survive. It's gonna be just you and her, no nurse. You can press the button. They'll be like, "You okay? Is it time?" And you're like, "No, it's not time." Okay, we'll be back. Just enjoy yourself with her, with the devil for 2 hours, or 36 hours, whatever it takes.
Oh, no, let's not be in there for 36 hours.
So it wasn't until Lamaze class that we went to over at Sagwa, with Mrs. Barbara Moffness.
Yeah, she's really good.
Yeah, she's funny. She's great. And I wish we didn't have to wear masks so I can see the expressions on her face. And she put it straight, and it was cool. We did the ice thing, and if you've done the Lamaze class with her, the ice thing that I'm talking about. And you do the right, and
ABC,
and then the
ABCs.
Right. So, well, I've decided. I don't know. I've heard people say like everything goes out the window when you're in the moment, and I'm just thinking. I think I'm just gonna make you freestyle it. It's like. Whatever's you're doing, I'm not going to change it. I just, if it works for you, then I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to attach onto this for a little bit until it doesn't work for you no more, until you're doing some other shit.
Yeah.
And that's a nervous thing about me. And watching the video that we watched for 30 minutes and the guy basically.
I left at the good part.
Yeah. So basically, all I saw was the guy just being useless the whole time. that's and every time they interviewed the guy, he was like, yeah, I just had to just be there, and I was helpless.
Everyone tells you whatever I say in that room, don't take it to heart.
Take it personally and call the nurse like, she's threatening me, nurse.
Get over it, you sissy.
So, uh, so yeah, and then she decides she needs to pee at the birth part. And so I have to watch the other ladies give birth. I'm like, oh my God. Oh Lordy.
Honestly, I don't know what to expect, but hopefully it's quick.
Every lady who has a child and listening to this, like, yeah, right, girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
I know, but let me just psych myself out.
For a moment. And then, you know, it was in the Lamaze class, they said have a code word, right? Of course you're going to ask for the drugs, and when you're at different places, they'll be like, okay, do you want it? Or they'll wait until you ask for it for real. Right. So, and knowing Kai, and I've seen her tough it out, you know, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to put any expectations on the moment, but because I don't want to freak myself out and not be prepared, I'm kind of prepared for anything at this.
Yeah.
When it happens.
Yeah.
Right, so we got to get the hospital bag ready.
The car
We're
seat.
there. Like, we're literally there. Saturday is like baby's full term. And
Give birth
in the next 2
anytime,
weeks, she should be giving birth. Like, wow.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's been a journey.
It has. And would you say that I've been an all right support partner?
You always ask this. You just wondered.
I just want to put it on record for our son to hear.
Yes, you've been an awesome support system. I mean, didn't really have to think too much when it comes to, just.
I mean, there are moments where you get mad at me, right?
Yeah, but that's called hormones.
Okay. As long as we're putting it on record. You heard that, Matt, right?
They're hormones. And I tell you this all the time, like, I'm thankful for what you've done for our family. Yeah. He's been really, really stressed out with a lot of things. The house.
The house mostly.
Yeah. Getting it ready for us.
For the baby.
Yeah. It has
in
been,
time to move in.
Like, we're in crunch time. Like,
I'm not going to guarantee it's move-in ready, but we will be about 90% move-in ready. At least getting all our stuff out of here by the time the baby comes, right? And it's going to be critical. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to split my time when the baby's here and we're having to move out and move stuff. So maybe starting tomorrow, I will start bringing stuff up to the house.
I'm not too worried because our parents are a great support system.
We do have a great support system here with our family.
They've both sides have just understood of what we're going through, and they're just,
This kid's gonna be spoiled as shit.
Oh my God, don't say that on record because he's gonna.
Yeah.
No, but we haven't bought really anything for him. Everything has come from the grandparents.
The grandmas.
Everything.
The grandmas have come in clutch.
Yeah.
And I'm very appreciative of it.
Yeah, very. I have 5 non-flathead pillows.
And the biggest change that I've seen in my parents since the baby is like them wanting to take care of their, of their health. Going walking.
Yeah,
right?
I noticed that too.
Not trying to endure as much stress as they used to. And it's awesome to see. It's almost as if this kid has changed everybody, who it's affecting. Yep. And the baby's not even here yet.
Yep. And my mom's already calling him king. Like, relax. My dad's hoping he's going to be born on his birthday, March 25th. I'm like, very likely. So, yeah.
I'm kind of glad.
Great support system from our families. Just very, very appreciative and grateful for them. They've been really awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad the first podcast we did messed up.
Yeah.
Because this is cool.
Yeah.
Doing it again, right?
Definitely have to do one after.
Right. And we might just do a separate podcast just reason for me to do podcasts more.
For me to vent.
It'd be cool.
Yeah,
It'd be awesome.
I think so.
And we took maternity pictures, and of course we took podcast maternity pictures. And you'll see.
I know.
So
I thought you're only going to be in the podcast one, but
yeah.
nope.
Yep.
You were in all
Yeah.
of mine.
Yep. I've been a model. Not an Instagram model.
Expressions model.
Yeah, Expression Studio model. Shout out to Robert.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely been a...
I took shot. I should throw this in. I took a photo shoot at Gibson's when I was young.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I was maybe like 6 or 7 years old. That was the extent of my modeling career. So we won't be releasing the maternity photos, sensual maternity photos to the public, but the podcast maternity photos, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That was cool.
Yep.
Did you have fun?
I did.
Okay. And now we have Matt here.
I know.
Isn't it a different feeling with Matt here?
I didn't even really...
No,
Notice
Matt,
him.
I notice you all the time.
Sorry,
Don't listen
Matt.
to her.
I did notice it when you were late.
When I was late.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not Matt.
I mean, Matt had to...
So now you know what we do for 3 hours out here, right? You act like I lock you in the dungeon to do podcasts. I'm glad you had fun doing this.
I did.
The last time we did this, we tried to send a message to our son, but I'll do it this time. Okay. And hopefully in the future, when he does listen to this, when he listens to his parents talk about their journey of the pregnancy with him, and maybe he'll have siblings, and maybe we'll continue to do this, right? With the siblings and or maybe it might be a only child. Who knows? But son, his name is Vicente Ryan Shea Ada. Ryan with an O.
Yeah.
But you pronounce it like Ryan. Ryan.
We decided
Not
to
Ryan.
stick with the
Ryan.
Vicente tradition.
And actually I didn't coax that, Matt. I didn't coerce that, you know. This was something that Kai came up with all on her own. And I was like, no brainer. Let's do it. Yeah, so Vicente Ryan.
Vicente Ryan.
So keeping with the tradition, the fourth of his name, or the fifth. I think it's the fourth.
Now it's just going to be trying to distinguish between when I'm getting mad and I'm calling both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Vicente!
Yeah, I just have to be Boo. So, son, if you're listening to this, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years down the line, the experience of going through this with you has been life-changing completely. And it's been fun. And I hope we get to do it again and have the blessing and the opportunity to do it again. But don't be a naughty kid. And
Listen to your mom.
listen to your mom. And you're not going to get away with as many things as you think with me. Because your mom thinks I'm going to be a pushover. Other than that, enjoy life. Don't take it too seriously. And if maybe you'll do a podcast one day too. Maybe it'll be called something else.
Yeah.
But you want to add anything?
No.
Be good.
Just be good. Be a good person.
Be a good
Yeah.
person. Be kind.
Be kind.
Okay. Until next time, you can hear Kona snoring or snarling. I think his mouth is dry. It's an old people thing.
Got to take care of our other baby.
Yeah. Until next time, Matt loves you. I love you. Kai loves you. And baby Ryan,
You are loved.
you are loved. Never forget that. Peace out. If you enjoyed the Master Random Journals, share it with your friends, family, whoever you know. Could even be your grandparents.
mean,